Today's presentation is entitled Referee to Defense for those who believe in making accurate rulings. Here's today's agenda. Chapter 1, Concept. What is refereeing to defense? Chapter 2, Geometry. All about triangles. Chapter 3, Plays. We're going to look at still images of several plays which demonstrate refereeing to defense in action. In Chapter 4, that's a wrap. We're going to review what we've learned. Let's get started. So, exactly what is refereeing the defense? Refereeing the defense is adjusting your position such that you can see between the offense and defense. You will hear a lot of officials referring to adjusting your position as position adjustment or PAs for short. And we're going to adjust our position such that we can see between the airspace of our offensive player and our defensive player. This may involve offensive player with the ball. This may involve the offensive player without the ball. As you can see in this image, we are demonstrating how in a two-person crew with a trail official and a lead official that they adjust their positions with a few steps or just slightly such that they can see between the offense and the defense, especially on ball matchups. Two ways they achieve this is to either line up parallel to the offensive player, and sometimes they'll line up parallel to the defensive player. Sometimes they will line up between the offense and the defense. And as we're going to discuss in the next chapter, there's some geometry involved when we make these position adjustments such that we can referee the defense. Basically, in refereeing the defense, we want to obtain a position such that we can see our offensive player and defensive player all at the same time within our same view and our same peripheral. Let's talk about triangles. Never thought we would be talking about math in officiating, did you? When we referee the defense correctly, the 3 points of the two opposing players and the referee will form a triangle. Let's go back to a quick geometry lesson. In geometry, a triangle consists of 3 sides, and there are 3 types of triangles. We have an acute triangle, where all the angles of the triangle are less than 90 degrees. We have a right triangle, in which one of the angles is exactly 90 degrees. And we have an obtuse triangle, where one of the angles in the triangle is greater than 90 degrees. So you may be asking yourself, what the heck does this have to do with basketball officiating and refereeing the defense? Well, I'm glad you asked. So now we see our referee officiating an on ball matchup between the offensive player, who will be A in this case, and the defensive player, who will be B. And as you can see, our referee takes a position such that he or she is able to effectively referee the defense. In our first example of an acute triangle, we see that our referee is literally in between A and B, such that he or she can see between the airspace of the opposing players. In our second example, we see that our referee is alongside A. Sometimes you may have our referee alongside B in this particular example, where it forms a right triangle. Again, our referee takes such a position where he or she can see between the airspace of opposing players. In our third example, we have an obtuse triangle. Our referee may be just slightly behind one of the players at what we would call an obtuse angle. Again, our referee takes an angle where he or she can see between the airspace of opposing players. In this image, we have an example on the left side of the court of a two-person crew and on the right side of the court of a three-person crew. We notice that our officials are at their initial starting positions. On the left side of the court, our trail is at the 28-foot mark, and our lead is at the post-up position. In our three-person example, our trail is again at the 28-foot mark, our center official is at the free throw line extended, and our lead is in the post-up position. Notice because of their excellent positioning, their positioning allows them to form triangles at particular matchups such that they can referee the defense. And in some cases, because of their excellent position, they can referee the defense of multiple matchups. As you see on the left, our trail is able to officiate a matchup that's near him, with A being outside the three-point arc and B just inside the three-point arc. But in lane 3, our trail also is able to see the airspace again between another teammate of A just outside the three-point arc and B near the free throw line extended. We have a similar case on the right side of the court with our trail official who is able to officiate a matchup where A and B are in lane 2. But do you see our center official who is able to officiate a matchup effectively near him? But he is also able to officiate a matchup because of his positioning, which is near trail. When we do this correctly, again, we should form triangles which the points consist of the official and our two opposing players. And if we obtain great positioning or make excellent position adjustments, sometimes we're in a position where we can referee the defense of multiple matchups. Now we're going to take a look at some plays. Sort of. Now, in most of our training series, we have videos that demonstrate the concepts of the material in which we are discussing. Well, for this particular training series, we have taken still images of plays from the great game between Tennessee and South Carolina from the 2023-2024 SEC NCAA Women's Tournament Semifinal game. In this particular play, we have Tennessee bringing the ball from the back court to the front court. Notice that our trail official takes a position just slightly behind or alongside, depending on your perspective, the ball handler dribbler. But notice that the excellent position of our trail official allows him to see between the airspace of our ball handler dribbler and the primary defender. And see the 3 points between the 3 people forms an obtuse triangle. In our second play, let's take a look at the on-ball matchup being officiated by our center official. Our center official is just a step off the free throw line extended, but the excellent position of our center official allows him to see the airspace between players on our on-ball matchup. And we notice that the positioning forms a triangle. If we take a look at our trail official is currently making a position adjustment. And this position adjustment is allowing our trail official to see between the airspace of our player who appears to be curling around the three-point arc and her defender who is near the free throw line. Our lead official is doing an excellent job of officiating the off-ball matchup in the post area near the restricted arc. And our lead, who is currently in the close down position because the ball is in lane 1 and there may be a pending rotation, her positioning allows her to form an excellent triangle such that she can referee the defense of the post matchup. Excellent work by all 3 of our officials. In this particular play, we have the player for Tennessee in lane 3 near the sideline table side, taking the 3-point shot. Notice the excellent position by our center official, who is just out of bounds and is alongside the primary closeout and contesting defender, allows him to see the airspace between these two opposing players, as well as staying connected with our shooter and the closeout and contesting defender. As the shot is being taken, notice the excellent position by our lead official, who is at the post-up position and is preparing to officiate rebounding action. Her position allows her to see the airspace between the two opposing players near the SEC logo in the lane area. Now let's take a look at our trail official. Because of the position adjustment being made by our trail official, do you see that our trail official is able to see between the airspace of two matchups? The matchup at the top of the key, as well as the matchup in the lane near the SEC logo. This is excellent work by our three officials, making the necessary adjustments in their position such that they can see between the airspace of players and thus be able to referee the defense. In this particular play, we have number 21 in the lane taking the jump shot. Notice that our trail official has an eye on this particular shot, and so does our center official. Their excellent positioning allows them to see the airspace between our ball handler dribbler, who is our shooter, and number 2 for Tennessee, who is the contesting defender. Notice excellent position by our trail official also gives her the potential to officiate another matchup if needed between number 15 for Tennessee and number 25 for South Carolina, which is just to her left. Also, in addition to the on-ball matchup of the shot, notice our center official, because of his excellent position at the free throw line extended, could also potentially officiate another matchup of number 1, who is at the free throw line, and her defender, number 0 for South Carolina, who is just outside the arc. Our lead official is in the post-up position and is in excellent position to officiate the rebounding matchup between the two players nearest to him. Again, refereeing the defense is all about making the necessary adjustments in your position such that you can see the airspace between the opposing players. And so far in this particular contest, this has been well done by our officiating crew. In this play, our trail official takes a position such that she has the capacity and ability to officiate two matchups. First, the on-ball matchup, which is her primary responsibility, and her position allows her to see between the airspace of our ball handler dribbler and the primary defender. This forms a right triangle. She also forms another right triangle with another matchup just to her left. Our lead official, who is currently at the post-up position, looks like he's going to step out such that he wants to get wider so he can see the curl action and the off-ball action. His excellent position allows him to see airspace between the two players nearer to him. Our center official, who is at the free throw line extended, is in excellent position to see the airspace between the two opposing players near the free throw line and the SEC logo. Well done by our officiating crew. Normally, in our analysis of these plays, we have been starting with our own ball matchup. We're going to come back to our own ball matchup momentarily. Let's start with our center official, who is positioned at the free throw line extended. See how he is in a position to officiate the airspace of the off-ball matchup nearest to him? Great job by our center official. See our lead official? He is currently at the closed down position as the ball, which is in lane 2, appears as though it's headed toward lane 3, and a potential rotation may be in the works. So see how our lead official, who is aware of where our ball is also in great position to also officiate the off-ball matchup of opposing players who are along our free throw lane lines. Now look at the position of our trail official. Our trail official started at the 28-foot mark, which is her initial starting position, but made a position adjustment to bring herself just closer to the division line, but not all that close to the division line. Her excellent position adjustment gave her the capacity to see the airspace between three matchups. Not only the on-ball matchup, which seems like it's headed for our center official, but the two off-ball matchups nearest to her. The off-ball matchup of our two opposing players who are near the free throw line and free throw line circle, and our two opposing players nearest to the sideline table side. This is excellent position adjustment work by our crew so they can referee the defense of all five matchups on the floor. In this particular play, notice that our center official, who is at the free throw line extended, which is his initial starting position, is such that he has the capacity to referee the defense of two matchups. First, the on-ball matchup, which is in his primary coverage area. He is able to see between the airspace of opposing players. The connection between our official and these two plays forms a right triangle. He also forms a right triangle with the matchup to his left. And should he just have to turn his head to the left for any reason, he would also be able to officiate this matchup because he's able to see the airspace between the opposing players in this particular matchup. Our trail official, who is located at the 28-foot mark, is able to officiate between the airspace of opposing players in the matchup nearest him. Even though we did not draw an additional triangle, do you notice because of his great position, he is also able to potentially help with the on-ball matchup because he can not only see between the airspace of his matchup, but he can see through their airspace into the airspace of the on-ball matchup. Again, well done by our officiating group. In this final play that we're going to analyze, we see that all three of our officials are in position such that they are able to see between the airspace of matchups in their primary coverage areas. All these matchups and the connection of the officials form triangles. We see that our center official has our own ball matchup as our ball handler dribbler is attempting a three-point shot, and we have a contestant and closeout defender on said ball handler dribbler. Notice that our center official is alongside the defender in this particular matchup, yet she is still able to see between the airspace of opposing players. Likewise, our trail and lead officials are able to see between the airspace of matchups nearest to them, and thus they are able to effectively referee the defense. Well done by our officiating crew. So what have we learned in this particular training presentation? Refereeing the defense is adjusting your position, as we have learned, they are called position adjustments or PAs, such that you can see between the offense and defense. And more specifically, you want to adjust your position such that you can see between the airspace of our offense and defensive players. This may involve players with the ball. This may involve players without the ball. When we referee the defense correctly, the 3 points of the two opposing players and the referee will form a triangle. Again, we have three different triangles in which refereeing the defense correctly will form: an acute triangle, a right triangle, or an obtuse triangle. Regardless of which of these triangles these 3 points form, The commonality with all these triangles is that our official is able to see between the airspace of opposing players. And when we can see between the airspace of opposing players, we are in a great position to make accurate rulings on plays. If you have any questions, comments, or inquiries about any material in this particular training presentation, please feel free to email me at the email address in this particular slide, or you can text me at the number in this particular slide. Thank you for spending part of your day or night with us. We appreciate your time. We hope you gain valuable knowledge and insight from this particular training presentation series entitled Referee the Defense. Have a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year, a great season.